Secondly, I want to remind you of the verse you did that made me want to quit rapping. Picture a perfect picture. Picture me in a pimp hat.
I told you, I know your dad for a long time. He did that. Guilty.
Right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Get their ass down somewhere, okay? Don't get spanked trying to prove a point that you're not built to prove. You're going to end up in jail with your pops or someplace worse. Whatever y'all on, get off it. I know you upset, you frustrated.
You know, like him, what he did for me, you can't repay that.
The hip-hop world is buzzing after Eminem dropped shocking insights about one of rap's most notorious dynamics, 50 Cent and Diddy's sons. According to Eminem, there's more tension behind the scenes than most fans realize, and it's got people asking, why are Diddy's sons reportedly terrified of 50 Cent? From childhood stories to industry encounters, Eminem explains the history, the influence, and the intimidation factor that surrounds 50 Cent, painting a picture that goes far beyond the music. Fans are left stunned as he breaks down why even the sons of one of hip-hop's biggest moguls might feel wary of crossing paths with the notorious rapper. Eminem dives deep into the roots of this tension, revealing moments that many in the public haven't seen. He explains how 50 Cent's rise, reputation, and business strategies have created an aura of fear and respect that affects everyone in his orbit, including those closest to other hip-hop legends. It's not just about music, it's about power, influence, and survival in a highly competitive world. The stories Eminem shares expose the delicate balance of respect and fear that permeates interactions in the industry. This isn't just gossip, it's an insider look at the relationships, rivalries, and psychological dynamics that shape the music world. Fans are captivated as Eminem recounts personal experiences and industry anecdotes, illustrating why 50 Cent commands such attention and why even the next generation of hip-hop royalty might feel the pressure. The discussion also raises questions about legacy, reputation, and what it takes to maintain dominance in the fast-paced, high-stakes world of rap. As this revelation spreads online, fans are debating, theorizing, and reacting in real time. Some are surprised, some skeptical, and others fascinated by the layers of respect and intimidation Eminem highlights. One thing is clear, this story isn't just about a momentary fear, it's about the long-standing impact of 50 Cent's persona, influence, and presence in the hip-hop industry. Stay tuned, because we're breaking down every detail, every revelation, and every reaction, giving you the full story behind why Diddy's sons reportedly feel uneasy around 50 Cent, and why the situation might be far more complex than anyone expected. The hip-hop world is no stranger to tension, rivalry, and power dynamics, but few stories capture the mix of fear, respect, and influence like the one Eminem recently shared about 50 Cent and Diddy's sons. According to Eminem, this isn't just idle gossip, it's a window into the deep impact 50 Cent's presence has on the industry, and how it shapes the behavior of everyone around him, including the next generation of hip-hop royalty. In this first part, we'll explore the background, the relationships, and the events that have led to the situation Eminem describes. It starts with understanding 50 Cent himself. Rising from the streets of Queens, New York, 50 Cent built a career on toughness, strategy, and a keen understanding of how to leverage fear and respect. His persona isn't just about bravado, it's calculated, commanding attention, and establishing boundaries in the highly competitive music industry. Those who cross him, or even those who are perceived to challenge his authority, often find themselves navigating a mix of intimidation and scrutiny. Eminem highlights this aspect of 50 Cent, explaining why his reputation is as much psychological as it is musical. Diddy's sons, being raised in one of the most influential hip-hop families in the world, are not strangers to fame, power, or industry politics. However, Eminem reveals that the weight of 50 Cent's persona creates a unique form of tension even for them. Whether through stories passed down from their father, encounters at events, or hearing about 50 Cent's influence and unpredictability, the environment cultivates a level of caution. Eminem emphasizes that this isn't about irrational fear. It's about understanding power dynamics, recognizing influence, and navigating relationships strategically. Historical context plays a major role in understanding this dynamic. 50 Cent and Diddy have a long, complex relationship, combining moments of collaboration, competition, and mutual respect. While they've worked together professionally in the past, their personal histories, rivalries in the broader hip-hop landscape, and the stakes of their respective empires create an underlying tension. Eminem points out that for Diddy's sons, witnessing these dynamics firsthand, or even hearing stories from those close to them, can leave a lasting impression, fostering caution in interactions with 50 Cent. Eminem also delves into the role of reputation and public persona in shaping fear. 50 Cent's career is full of moments that demonstrate his ability to dominate situations, confront rivals, and maintain control. These stories aren't just headlines, they're lessons in influence and psychological leverage. According to Eminem, hearing about such incidents, seeing them unfold, or even imagining the consequences, can create an instinctive wariness in those connected to other powerful figures in the industry. Diddy's sons, despite their youth, are keenly aware of this reality. The psychology behind fear in hip-hop, Eminem explains, is nuanced. It isn't about terror in a literal sense, but about understanding boundaries and maintaining respect. In a world where reputation can determine career opportunities, alliances, and social influence, knowing when to assert oneself and when to exercise caution is critical. Eminem describes instances where 50 Cent's presence alone has commanded attention, altered behavior, and subtly reminded those around him of his influence. These moments, though not always visible to the public, leave impressions on the people who witness them, including Diddy's sons. Moreover, Eminem notes that 50 Cent's influence extends beyond music. His business ventures, media presence, and ability to control narratives make him a formidable figure in multiple arenas. For young people like Diddy's sons, this multifaceted dominance adds layers to the intimidation factor. It's not simply about a rapper's reputation, it's about understanding a person who has consistently demonstrated power, strategy, and influence across multiple industries. The caution they feel is part of a broader understanding of navigating complex social and professional networks in hip-hop. Eminem also emphasizes that fear can be a form of respect. In many ways, the hesitation or wariness Diddy's sons display is a recognition of 50 Cent's accomplishments, his ability to influence people, and his skill in maintaining control of situations. It's not about being scared in a negative sense. It's about understanding that 50 Cent commands attention, sets boundaries, and creates an environment where careful consideration is necessary. This perspective sheds light on why Eminem believes the situation is deep, extending beyond casual rumors or surface-level drama. Stories from the industry further illustrate this dynamic. Eminem shares anecdotes of events, meetings, and encounters where 50 Cent's presence altered the atmosphere. People reacted differently, conversations shifted, and behavior changed, all without any overt confrontation. This level of influence demonstrates the subtle power 50 Cent wields and how it can affect even those who are highly accustomed to fame and industry pressure. For Diddy's sons, witnessing or hearing about these situations naturally cultivates caution and respect, which may appear to outsiders as fear. The first part also highlights the broader lesson about power in hip-hop. Eminem explains that understanding influence, reputation, and psychological dynamics is key to navigating the industry successfully. 50 Cent's career serves as a case study. He has mastered the art of controlling narratives, establishing dominance, and using his persona to shape interactions. For the next generation, including Diddy's sons, this represents a valuable lesson in awareness and strategy. Fear in this context is not weakness. It's an acknowledgement of the stakes, the power, and the importance of making informed decisions. By the end of Part 1, viewers begin to see the layers of complexity behind the story Eminem tells. It's not just about 50 Cent intimidating Diddy's sons. It's about history, reputation, psychology, and the nuanced ways power operates in hip-hop. As the saga unfolds in Parts 2 and 3, we'll dive deeper into specific anecdotes, reactions from the industry, and the lasting impact this dynamic has on relationships, respect, and legacy in rap. The tension Eminem highlights is a window into the real-life influence 50 Cent wields, and why even the most privileged and protected individuals in hip-hop approach him with caution. Continuing from the first part, the story behind why Diddy's sons reportedly feel intimidated by 50 Cent becomes even more compelling when we examine the anecdotes and insider perspectives that Eminem shared. It's not just a matter of reputation, it's about the tangible and psychological influence 50 Cent has exerted over the years. Eminem emphasizes that 50 Cent's presence has a way of commanding attention and altering behavior, even in those who are accustomed to the spotlight. Diddy's sons, despite growing up surrounded by fame, are not immune to this kind of influence, and the situation highlights a larger lesson about power dynamics in hip-hop. Eminem describes several key instances where 50 Cent's aura of dominance has left a mark on others in the industry. From event appearances to business negotiations, 50 Cent has consistently demonstrated an ability to shift atmospheres simply by being present. He knows how to assert control, how to use subtle intimidation, and how to make people, rivals or allies, aware of his influence. For Diddy's sons, hearing stories of these moments or observing them firsthand can be a humbling and, at times, intimidating experience. It's not that 50 Cent seeks to scare anyone. His reputation alone is enough to create a sense of caution and respect. A major factor contributing to this fear is 50 Cent's understanding of strategy. Eminem points out that he isn't impulsive. Every move, whether in music, business, or public interactions, is calculated to maximize impact. This includes trolling rivals online, asserting dominance in interviews, and even handling behind-the-scenes negotiations in ways that reinforce his authority. For young people like Diddy's sons, observing or learning about these tactics can be both educational and intimidating. They recognize that 50 Cent operates on a level that demands awareness, patience, and careful consideration. The conversation also touches on the broader implications of growing up in a high-profile family like Diddy's. Being raised around power, influence, and competition comes with its own pressures. Eminem explains that Diddy's sons have access to mentorship, connections, and industry knowledge, but they also face expectations, comparisons, and lessons about navigating complex social hierarchies. In this context, 50 Cent represents both a benchmark and a challenge, someone who embodies the skills, persona, and influence they are learning to navigate. His presence commands respect, and his reputation fosters a natural wariness that, from an outsider's perspective, may look like fear. Eminem further emphasizes the role of social and professional dynamics in this equation. In hip-hop, perception is everything. The way people carry themselves, the way they respond to others, and the way they handle conflict can have long-lasting implications. Diddy's sons are learning to balance respect for powerful figures with confidence in their own positions. Eminem points out that their cautious approach to 50 Cent isn't weakness, it's strategic awareness. They understand that in a world where reputations can be made or broken with a single incident, careful navigation is key. The story becomes more interesting when we consider the historical context between 50 Cent and Diddy. Though not always adversarial, their relationship has had moments of tension and competition, particularly in the early 2000s during the rise of 50 Cent's career. Eminem notes that these historical dynamics set the stage for why even family members connected to Diddy might approach interactions with caution. Knowing the history, understanding 50 Cent's methods, and witnessing his influence firsthand all contribute to the respect and wariness that Diddy's sons reportedly feel. Eminem also shares personal anecdotes that illustrate 50 Cent's psychological influence. In meetings, studio sessions, and events, people notice how his presence alone can alter conversations, behavior, and decision-making. The rapper has a reputation for reading situations quickly, understanding power structures, and ensuring that his authority is recognized without unnecessary conflict. Diddy's sons, observing these interactions, naturally internalize the lesson. 50 Cent is someone to respect, someone whose influence carries weight, and someone whose actions demand attention. Another critical aspect Eminem highlights is the role of storytelling in hip-hop culture. Tales of 50 Cent's past exploits, victories, and confrontations are not just legends, they are teaching tools. For younger figures in the industry, including Diddy's sons, these stories communicate lessons about power, survival, and strategy. The fear or hesitation they exhibit is not merely personal, it's informed by the narratives surrounding 50 Cent and the understanding that his presence, past behavior, and reputation all create an environment where caution is wise. Eminem also points out that influence and fear can coexist with respect. The two are not mutually exclusive. In this case, Diddy's sons may feel cautious or intimidated, but they also recognize 50 Cent's achievements, work ethic, and skill in navigating a challenging industry. The dynamic serves as a learning experience. Observing someone like 50 Cent teaches lessons in strategy, dominance, and how to balance personal confidence with situational awareness. In many ways, the fear is a reflection of admiration and acknowledgement of his accomplishments. As the story develops, Eminem touches on the role of generational influence in hip-hop. He explains that the sons of prominent figures like Diddy are constantly learning to balance legacy, influence, and relationships within a competitive environment. 50 Cent represents both a challenge and a benchmark, a figure whose career demonstrates the intersection of talent, strategy, and reputation. The lessons embedded in the interactions and perceptions surrounding him are invaluable for young people navigating this world, and their reported fear is part of this larger process of learning and adaptation. By the end of Part 2, it becomes clear that the situation is far more complex than surface-level fear. It's about influence, legacy, strategy, and psychological dynamics in a competitive environment. Eminem's insights shed light on the subtle ways power operates in hip-hop, the lessons passed down through stories and experiences, and why even those raised in high-profile families approach figures like 50 Cent with caution. The tension is less about intimidation in the traditional sense, and more about understanding, respect, and the high stakes of navigating a world where reputation is everything. Picking up from Part 2, the story of why Diddy's sons reportedly feel intimidated by 50 Cent continues to unfold with even more layers of complexity. Eminem's perspective reveals that this isn't just a case of celebrity gossip, it's about understanding influence, history, and the intricate social dynamics of hip-hop. By examining specific incidents, reactions, and the psychological impact of 50 Cent's presence, we gain a clearer understanding of why even the next generation of hip-hop royalty might tread carefully around him. One critical factor Eminem emphasizes is 50 Cent's ability to maintain an aura of unpredictability. In the entertainment and music industries, unpredictability can be a form of power. When people are unsure of how someone might respond, they tend to exercise caution. For Diddy's sons, growing up hearing stories of 50 Cent's career, confrontations, and strategic moves cultivates a natural wariness. Eminem explains that this isn't fear in the conventional sense. It's a strategic awareness born from observing someone whose reputation demands attention and careful consideration. Eminem highlights several backstage and studio anecdotes that illustrate 50 Cent's impact on those around him. In one story, he recalls a meeting where 50 Cent's presence alone changed the tone of the room. People who might have been confident in his absence suddenly adjusted their behavior, demonstrating deference and caution. These subtle shifts in dynamics show the power of reputation and presence in hip-hop culture. For young people like Diddy's sons, witnessing these behaviors reinforces lessons about respect, influence, and strategy. The historical tension between 50 Cent and other major players in hip-hop further compounds the situation. While he and Diddy have collaborated professionally in the past, rivalries and competition are part of the broader context. Eminem explains that Diddy's sons are aware of these histories, understanding that their fathers' relationships in the industry sometimes involve complex alliances and unspoken rules. Observing or learning about these dynamics naturally instills caution, as they recognize the consequences of missteps or misjudgments in interactions with someone as influential as 50 Cent. Another element Eminem underscores is the role of 50 Cent's digital persona. In addition to real-world encounters, 50 Cent is known for his calculated online presence, trolling rivals, and shaping public perception through social media. His influence extends beyond personal interactions. It also affects how people behave in public and online spaces. Diddy's sons, raised in an environment where image and reputation are constantly monitored, understand that 50 Cent's power is not just physical or verbal, it's also psychological and digital. Every move, post, or comment can carry weight, adding another layer to why they approach him with caution. Eminem also explores the interplay between admiration and caution. The wariness Diddy's sons reportedly feel is intertwined with respect for 50 Cent's accomplishments. They recognize his skill, strategy, and ability to navigate challenges in both music and business. This duality, fear mixed with respect, is central to understanding the situation. It's not about weakness, it's about awareness, intelligence, and strategic thinking. Eminem emphasizes that in hip-hop, understanding these dynamics is critical for long-term success and survival. The story also touches on generational lessons. Growing up in one of the most influential hip-hop families, Diddy's sons are constantly learning to balance legacy with individuality. Eminem points out that interactions with figures like 50 Cent serve as real-life lessons in negotiation, power, and personal branding. Observing how 50 Cent asserts influence, manages relationships, and commands respect provides a blueprint for navigating the industry. The caution they show is a reflection of their learning process, an acknowledgement that influence and authority must be understood and respected. Eminem further delves into the psychological aspects of intimidation. He explains that the presence of someone like 50 Cent can create an environment where people pause, think, and act deliberately. This is not necessarily fear in a harmful sense, it's a form of social intelligence. Diddy's sons, having been exposed to the stories, interactions, and reputations of major industry figures, internalize this lesson naturally. They learn that knowing how to navigate powerful personalities is as important as developing their own talents or pursuing their own careers. Moreover, Eminem points out that these dynamics highlight the enduring impact of reputation. 50 Cent has cultivated an image of toughness, strategy, and unpredictability that extends beyond music. He has demonstrated his influence in business, media, and personal interactions, which reinforces the perception of authority. For Diddy's sons, Observing this influence firsthand or through stories shared by their father or other insiders creates a natural level of caution. They understand that in a world where reputation can shape opportunities, being aware of and respectful toward influential figures is essential. The conversation also includes the importance of respect as a form of fear. Eminem explains that in hip-hop culture, respect is often demonstrated through careful observation, measured actions, and thoughtful responses. The wariness Diddy's sons feel toward 50 Cent is not about submission. It's about recognizing the weight of his influence and the lessons that come with it. They are learning how to navigate power structures effectively, balancing confidence in their own abilities with acknowledgement of others' authority. As Part 3 unfolds, it's evident that this dynamic goes beyond personal feelings. It's a reflection of broader hip-hop culture. Influence, reputation, and strategic thinking are key components in the industry, and 50 Cent exemplifies all three. Eminem's insights provide a window into how these forces operate, why even those from privileged or influential backgrounds approach him with caution, and how respect and strategic awareness intersect. By the end of Part 3, viewers can see that the reported fear of Diddy's sons is more nuanced than it appears. It's a combination of respect, historical context, psychological influence, and awareness of social dynamics in hip-hop. Eminem's explanations illuminate the depth of 50 Cent's impact, showing that his presence, reputation, and strategic approach continue to shape the behavior of those around him. This story is not just about intimidation, it's about understanding power, legacy, and the lessons that come from navigating one of the most complex and high-stakes industries in the world. In conclusion, the tension between 50 Cent and Diddy's sons is a masterclass in influence, strategy, and reputation. Eminem's insider perspective reveals that what may seem like fear is actually an intricate blend of respect, caution, and awareness. For fans, this story offers a rare glimpse behind the curtain of hip-hop's most influential figures, highlighting the lessons, pressures, and dynamics that shape the next generation of talent. The situation serves as a reminder that in hip-hop, as in life, understanding power and influence is key, and that even the most privileged or well-connected individuals approach legendary figures like 50 Cent with a careful mix of admiration and caution. The story doesn't end here, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Eminem's revelations about 50 Cent and Diddy's sons give us an unprecedented look into the power dynamics and influence that shape the hip-hop world. But there's still more to uncover. To make sure you stay up to date with every development, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'll bring you real-time updates, exclusive insights, and in-depth breakdowns of every story, every confrontation, and every revelation as it unfolds. Hip-hop moves fast, and staying in the loop is key to understanding the drama and strategy behind the headlines. We want to hear from you in the comments. What do you think about Diddy's sons reportedly feeling intimidated by 50 Cent? Do you see it as respect, fear, or a combination of both? How do you interpret Eminem's perspective on the situation? Share your thoughts, debate with other fans, and let us know which side of the story resonates most with you. Your engagement is a vital part of this community, and by participating, you help shape the conversation around one of hip-hop's most fascinating dynamics. By subscribing, you'll gain access to exclusive coverage of hip-hop rivalries, backstage stories, and the intricate relationships between industry icons. We break down not just what happens, but why it matters, analyzing reputation, strategy, and influence behind every move. From real-life encounters to social media maneuvers, we provide the full picture so you can understand the forces that shape the careers and lives of the biggest names in music. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be the first to get every update. Share this video with friends, family, or anyone fascinated by the power plays and behind-the-scenes drama in hip-hop. Eminem's insights reveal more than just a story. They reveal lessons about influence, strategy, and the psychological dynamics that govern even the most high-profile figures. By sharing this content, you're helping others understand the complexity and nuance of hip-hop culture and keeping the conversation alive about one of the industry's most talked-about situations. This saga is far from over, and the coming weeks may bring more revelations, reactions, and surprising developments. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a single update. Every reaction, every anecdote, and every analysis matters in understanding how power, respect, and influence operate in hip-hop. With Eminem's perspective shedding light on 50 Cent's impact, this is one story that will continue to captivate fans and generate conversation for months to come. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join us as we follow every twist and turn in this ongoing saga.